Good day and greetings. It's an honor to join today's event. I would like to thank Nigel Stevens and the Puerto Rico Minority Supplier Development Council for the opportunity to share my thoughts and work advocating for minority businesses. I deeply appreciate this year's theme, Reimagine Growth, which aligns with the work of my office to engage the public and private sectors for the collective prosperity of the U.S. territories. The significance of this invitation and the Puerto Rico Minority Supplier Development Council's willingness to engage on critical topics like minority business inclusion is not lost on me, with efforts to eradicate the experiences and stories of people of color right now. The 117th Congress gave me the honor of being the first member from a territory to serve on the House Committee on Ways and Means. During this time, despite Democrats holding a slim majority, we were able to transform and make transformational generational legislation, including the Inflation Reduction Act, the Infrastructure and Jobs Act, CHIPS and Science Act, and the American Rescue Plan to advance historically underserved communities. With the continued narrowing of margins in the 119th Congress, Democrats brought back a few of members on the Ways and Means Committee, and it's my honor to sit on that committee, as well as the Budget Committee, and serve as a voice for Virgin Islanders and all minorities once again. Following the devastation of Hurricanes Irma and Maria, I've worked with my colleagues to diversify the economies of the U.S. Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. Our communities have not recuperated from the natural disasters that have occurred to us. And in the case of the Virgin Islands, the closure of our oil refinery additionally exacerbated that economic growth. As we reimagine our future, we must acknowledge the role that minority businesses play in our communities. Many of the temporary provisions enacted under President Trump's 2017 Tax Cut and Jobs Act, the TCJA, will expire in 2025. And during the ongoing negotiations, I continue to advance priorities that will further impact the U.S. territories. Through new taxes on global intangible low tax income, GILTI, U.S. territories have been treated the same as foreign countries. This has negatively impacted private investment and job creation. And to remedy this unintended result of the tax bill, since the 117th Congress, I've introduced legislation to place the territories on par with other states. As the member of Congress who represents the Virgin Islands, I'm acutely aware of the importance of our third border, the Caribbean. Our region welcomes millions of U.S. citizens annually, while a vibrant Caribbean diaspora here in the United States solidifies our economies and cultural bridges. Companies in Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands are American companies that stand ready to strengthen our domestic production capacity and reduce reliance on foreign suppliers, reinforcing our economic security. U.S. territories, including Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands, play a critical role in our national economy, serving as strategic hubs for trade, manufacturing, and innovation. Small businesses in our territories make up over 90% of businesses in our respective districts, employing hundreds of thousands of people and serving as an economic backbone of the region. Ensuring equitable access to federal contracting and investment for businesses in these territories will enhance economic resilience, create jobs, and strengthen the national economy. Minority-owned businesses drive innovation, create jobs, and expand the country's economic footprint in the international markets. There are more than 9.7 million minority-owned businesses in the United States, generating over 1.8 trillion in annual revenue and employing more than 8.7 million people. The economic success of minority businesses directly strengthen American competitiveness by fostering entrepreneurship, advancing supply chain resilience, and increasing access to global trade. I understand the immense responsibility before us to close the racial wealth gap for minority entrepreneurs across all sectors. Through my conversations with strategic partners and other legislators, as well as the tech industry, the idea for the Congressional Caucus on Black Innovation, or CCBI, was born. Through CCBI, Congresswoman Strickland and I are actively confronting the economic and financial realities of minority innovators and business owners. We are committed to transform the status quo and advance robust policies to close the economic ownership and sustainability divide through policies that advance equity and inclusion. Recent actions by the Trump administration continue to highlight the critical importance of the work of CCBI and organizations including the PRMSDC as the administration eliminates and diminishes the programs and opportunities that facilitate opportunities for minority businesses. Last week, President Trump issued an executive order to eliminate all of the non-statutory programs at the Minority Business Development Agency in the Department of Commerce. This agency provided approximately $350 million in export assistance in 2024, facilitated almost $1.6 trillion in revenues and over 9.9 million jobs at the businesses it served. As the member of Congress of the Family, Business, and Blockchain Caucuses, I appreciate that the private sector leads the charge with innovation and creates rapidly evolving new and emerging technologies. Access to capital is essential and is often the highest barrier to success for small firms. The same executive order that cuts the MBDA also eliminates services and staff at the Community Development Financial Institution, CDFI Fund. CDFIs represent over 1,400 private sector institutions that help communities and businesses that are traditionally left out of banking and investment opportunities. In 2024, they provided financing to over 109,000 businesses and over 45,000 affordable housing projects. Thank you again to PRMSDC team for allowing me to share my thoughts and ideas on this area. And thank you all for being here. The actions of the current administration undermine the ability of your firms to drive national economic security and global leadership. I remain committed to elevating and reinforcing the importance of the Virgin Islands of the United States and Puerto Rico businesses to U.S. strategic economic advantage in the Caribbean and in Latin America and for long-term stability. Your work towards the crucial mission of the expansion, support, and growth of minority businesses is especially needed during this time. Thank you.